So I figured since I'm at the J. Storm Thurman Dam and Lake, yeah, that's how you say it. I wanted to talk about how you can make the benefit or make the best out of being in the military, especially being a warrant. And I want to talk about how you can make that transition from military to the civilian side and what you need to do to be successful. All right, follow me on this journey. Check out this view. So, how do we become successful when we get out the military? How can we use the military to advance ourselves when we get out? Well, first of all, become a warrant officer. No, all jokes aside, so you really have to take it seriously. I recommend, and this is for active duty and reservists, and I'm going to lean more on the active duty side on this one, and then I'll split to reservists. What you need to do for both parties is take your MOS seriously. Take it really seriously. And what I mean by that is try to master your MOS, or get as deep as you can go as you feel comfortable. Don't just do your everyday job as just passing the time. Get deep within the weeds. Second thing is go to all your military schools and any schools that you can go to that are for your job. The reason why I say that is, let's speak on the warrant side and the O grade side. The enlisted side, let's say when you go to WLC, or let's say you go to, let's say you go to AIT, you're gonna learn your craft, your slice of the pie on the basic level. And then when you get to advanced or ALC, you'll learn more, and then it becomes more of a stat type deal. But take advantage of your MOS schools. So even on the warrant side and the officer side, these schools, they're inch deep, mile wide, literally inch deep, mile wide. When I went through 255 Alpha, that was 8 months long. When I went through advanced course for 170, that was 4 months long. And let's say with the 170 side, we covered a hell of a lot of topics. A lot of them revolved around offensive stuff as far as on the IT side, on the cyber side. Just like for someone who's going to be a 420 or HR, an HR warrant. I mean, you're going to get into, I don't know, managing an office. Let me not try to go down that path. I don't know much about it, but yes, you're going to be an inch deep, mile wide, and soak that in. That's done for a reason, as far as I'm concerned. A lot of us get ticked off because it's literally, you scratch the surface and it's on to the next. So we call it the fire hose effect. There's just so much information that gets put out. So much, like you can't even absorb it all. I mean, it's pretty much you're chewing it up, eating it now, and tasting it later. But that's good though. That's good because you're going to take that on to your civilian job. So the reasoning for that, I believe, is the fact that they're trying to give you exposure to many different things you might come across. Let's say you're not a programmer, but you'll learn Python. But if you come across it in the workplace, at least you have an idea. So it's not something that's going to surprise you. If you're a database person, and it goes for any MOS. So the thing is, like, take that and run with it. Learn what you can, get that exposure. Because when you get to the civilian side, it's going to be a lot broader than the Army side. Next thing is, look at the type of job you want when you're getting out. Most of the reservists already have a civilian job. And that's really well, it depends on the reservist side. If you're new in the reserves or new in the military, I mean, you might work at, I don't know, you could be a warehouse worker, but then again, you're trying to become, I don't know, a master driver, as far as for motor transport. So what you do is you look at the job that you're at or that you want, and then you gear your military experience towards that. So for those who are getting out, for example, okay, let's say you're getting out in about a year. Look up a few jobs that you want, and then start tailoring. Actually, you should do it way before, a couple years before. Look at the field that you want to be in and start tailoring your career around that. to try to mirror what you're going to be walking into on the civilian side, or what you're trying to get into. That makes it easier on when it's time to decide for special schools that you can go to, or they might have classes here and there. You'll know if you want to take them or not. So mastering your craft and gearing your craft towards what you want to be when you grow up. Like, those are the two biggest things. Then everything else will most likely fall into place. You know, on the reservist side, most of the time, let's say if you've been in a while, or you've already have a career, and like your career and your military job marry up, your school will actually help you advance on your civilian side. Typically what happens is that when you go to your schools, you can get certifications, you know, and that helps you out on your civilian side, you know. But what I noticed on the military side, when you get activated, your civilian side will help you out on your military side. And I've seen that happen a lot. See it happen a lot, because your the exposure you have on the civilian side is more vast than your exposure on the military side in most of the job fields, in most of your fields. So let's say you're that master driver, and you're a truck driver on the civilian side. You've dealt with different equipment. Both sides have dealt with different equipment, but that exposure you had on the civilian side makes you see things a little bit differently, because things in the industry work totally different than the military. That's the biggest thing I see. So those are my main two things on what you can do to be successful when you get out the military, or utilize the military to make you successful. I know you see some of these guys, I have seen them, some of these guys that retired, and then next thing you know, like, they got a government job. So they're collecting retirement, they got the government job, and they had like 20 years in the military, and these guys are making deep into six figures. Case in point, I know a guy who retired as a major, and he was AGR. So he was full-time on the reserve side, retired as a major and got his retirement, and now he's working full-time, and he thought about buying a Bentley because of all the money that he's making, because it's just him also. But yes, you can make it very lucrative. Now, granted, if you don't do your full 20 years, you want to take full advantage. And that's not even getting into the educational assistance. So you want to take full advantage of the experience. That means master your craft. If you're an MP, master your craft. That's a little different, because does it translate over? Some states yes, some states no. Majority of the time you have to go through that state's police academy. So regardless, it's still going to be going through a police academy. But if you want to become a truck driver, those certifications and those endorsements do carry over. You know, so master your craft and take all the classes you can. I mean, you'll have time to have fun. You know, you'll go on deployment, you'll go TDY to different countries. Yeah, I mean, enjoy yourself in those different countries, but focus on the longevity. But that's all I got for now. I hope you guys heed this advice, and look at this beautiful environment. Till next time, peace.